What's up, everybody? Welcome to Queer Girl Straight Skates. I'm Rebel, and today I'm going to teach you how to side surf. Queer Girl Straight Skates is a YouTube channel full of roller skating tutorials, reviews, general roller skating lifestyle videos. So if you want to learn how to roller skate, or if you've been roller skating forever, I highly recommend that you subscribe. I put out new videos every Tuesday. So the reason why I like side surfing so much is because of many reasons. One reason is because I think it's really fun. Another reason is because it looks cool. And another reason why I really like side surfing is because it's kind of a little bit of a stretch while you're also doing a cool move. And then also it is a great transitional move. So you can do a lot of different things once you have the side surf down. The number one concern that I get when we talk about side surf is, how can I do this move if I'm not flexible? Even if you're not flexible, you can do a modified version of this move. So don't get freaked out, stay with me, and let's try it together. So before we jump on into it, this is what a side surf looks like. You can do it both ways. So you can do it with your right foot forward like this, and you can also do it with your left foot forward like this. Another thing that's similar to the side surf is when you have your feet in the same position as the side surf, but your knees are not bent. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. If you know what it's called, put it in the comments so that we can all learn something. But that looks a little bit like this. And you can take that in a circle as well, and it's called a Spready. So there's many things that you can learn from this basic idea of side surfing. So let's get started. So the first thing that I usually do before I start side surfing is I do a little bit of a stretch. And the stretch that I do, I put my feet out, I just bend down into it and bounce a little bit. So if I was to stand like this, a lot of times what I would do is I would push my shoulder forward and then use my weight to push my knee back a little bit. And then I would just alternate this until I feel like, okay, I feel pretty good here. You really need to have your hip flexors stretching in order to have like a really full, deep side surf. And this is not something that you're just gonna be able to do overnight. This is something that does require a bit of stretching, but you will be able to do some sort of a modified version of it pretty soon after you start practicing. So a lot of people get freaked out because they see people side surfing and they think, oh my gosh, I can't make this position. I'm on a slant, so I'm gonna roll. But they say, I can't make this position. How could I ever side surf? Well, one thing that you can do is you can start practicing having that position when you're off skate. So maybe like when you're doing dishes or when you're doing your homework, you can just practice like stretching out those hip flexors and getting your feet into that position. But you can still side surf, you just won't go fully straight. You're still technically side surfing, you're just not going in a straight line like this, you're just going a little bit like this. And that's what happens when your feet are angled a little bit as opposed to straight out. But that is a good place to start. So now let's talk about how to actually enter the move and how to execute it so that you can start practicing. You can choose to start practicing either way, whether it's to the right or to the left. Whichever one feels the most comfortable to you, that's what you should practice first. It could be that your dominant foot is the direction that is gonna be the easiest for you, so I would start trying out with your dominant foot, but the way you can practice and like see which direction is gonna be easiest for you is to not worry about that back foot, but just try and put one foot to the side and go that direction and see which one feels better. Once you've figured out which direction you're gonna go, you need to know a few things about the position of your body. Your goal is to have your feet out, as pointed out as you can. So if for you it's like this, if for you it's like this, that's okay for now. You just wanna try and get at least one a little bit more to the side, because even if you can't do this, doing this is actually better, because I'm still leaning on this one. So you're gonna have your feet in that out position. You're gonna make sure your knees are bent. the more bent your knees are, the easier it's gonna be to get into that wide position. And the last thing is that you're gonna wanna make sure that your body is up straight. So what I was just doing, where I was going like this and I was leaning forward, you don't wanna do that. So the reason why your chest is up, your knees are bent, and your feet are out across is because when you're going like this, one, it hurts your lower back a bit. Two, it also throws you off your balance. So when you're like this, you're not balanced. You don't have your center. But when you're up like this, you do have your balance. And when you're going like this, it will stop you from going fast. But when you're up like this, you'll be able to go fast because you're all in one line. With your legs to the side, you do want them to be next to each other, like aligned. You don't want them necessarily to be staggered. It's really hard to hold the position when you're just standing here, but you do want them to be aligned. And that's for the coasting part of it, but you're not just coasting the whole time. So you're actually going to use your back foot to pump. And you can use your front foot to guide you. Think about like steering in a boat, right? So like your front foot is gonna define where you're going. Your back foot is gonna give you the power to get there. For your head, I would highly recommend having your head pointing the direction that you're going so you know where you're going. Whenever we're skating, a lot of times we can think about it this way, is wherever our head is pointed, that's where our body is gonna go. But we don't want to turn our body like this, because the move is to have your body like straight. So you can have that moment where you're just like looking to the side, but 90% of the time when I'm side surfing, I'm looking where I'm going because I don't want to run into anything. I consider myself a decent side surfer, but if you want to see like the king of side surfing, you should look up Duke Rennie. Duke Rennie is famous for his side surfing moves. He also like park skates while side surfing, which is very, very hard and really, really incredible to watch. And there are lots of skaters who will take side surfing and add their own style to it. So I highly recommend that you look up other skaters who do side surf and also put a twist on it for yourself. If you know someone who is a skater who side surfs, put them down in the comments so that other people can find the side surfers that you know about. And if you want me to do a tutorial on how to side surf in a bowl, let me know, comment that down below, because I can also teach you that as well. Are you ready to get into it? Let's start moving. When I first start side surfing, I highly recommend using speed. I know that it is scary to use speed right away, but when you're just standing here, as you've probably noticed several times me like struggling to stand here in this position, it's because when you're moving, it's actually way easier to do than when you're just standing in one place. And when you first start side surfing, the pumping is like the last part. Like that is like the most difficult part to add. So just worry first about being able to glide in your side surf and get in that position before you start pumping. So let's first start learning how to glide in our side surf position. When I'm gliding in my side surf position, what I'm doing is I'm really making sure to check all my positions and getting into my bent knee as quickly and as deeply as I possibly can. When I first start, I'm gonna stride a couple times and then I'm gonna go into my position. This is going to give me the speed and get me into the position as fast as I can get there, and then make me just kind of glide in this position. So if you notice, my feet are directly pointed out, my chest is up, my knees are super bent, and then I'm able to get back up. And then when I get back up to get out of it, I go and put my weight on my front foot and lift my back foot up. You're going from here, I'm transferring my weight to my right foot, lifting, and then I'm gonna continue skating. When you're going to turn, you're just going to lean your body towards the direction that you wanna turn into, and it looks like this. Also, it's good practice for the club because you're getting low. So let's talk really quickly about how we keep going once we've started gliding, and that is through something called pumping. So you're gonna use your back foot, and your back foot is gonna move back and forth like this in order to give you momentum as you're going and to propel you forward. This is a lot more difficult outside on soft wheels than it is to do with hard wheels on a rink or inside on a smooth surface. So you're going to have a little bit more, like you're gonna have to put a little bit more effort into it, but you're really pushing down on the ground to give you that momentum going forward. Once you've learned how to glide and how to pump, you now have all the tools to know how to side surf. I hope that you have fun out there side surfing. It's one of those things that's constantly evolving for me. I'm learning how to do new things with my side surfing, whether it is straightening up my legs, going into a spread eagle, doing other different moves, switching back and forth from one side to the next. And I hope that you have a great side surf journey. If you have any other questions about side surfing, feel free to throw them down below and I will answer them. And as always, thank you so much for watching this episode of Queer Girl Straight Skates. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Come and tell me what kind of videos you want to see next from me. Don't forget to support me and shop cheerstothequeers.com or become a Patreon. And most importantly, cheers to the queers!